All right, Homesteader family, welcome back to the journey. Welcome to this edition of the Sunday Monday vlog. Let's try and get the dogs to stop drinking. Chubbs is over there with his head in the bucket, chomping away at the water. Got Mickey and Max over here flailing tails, being crazy dogs. But hopefully everybody's having a good New Year's Eve. This week, it's been busy. I know I've had a couple people reach out. They asked what I've been doing because they haven't seen no new posts, no new updates on the tiny home, the shed conversion, whatever you want to call it. And that's because today I slept for 14 hours, 14 and a half hours technically. I did wake up, let the dogs out, and went back to bed. But today, slept for 14 and a half hours. Didn't do anything but go feed the animals. Hope you have a great Happy New Year's too, Scott. I appreciate it. And so I've crashed. Just totally exhausted. So Friday, I went to Home Depot. Steve needed some stuff. I ended up throwing some more money on credit card. Nothing new there. I went ahead. I've got the shed originally came with the roll-up garage door in the back, and then 3 small single-pane windows and the front door. Now that I'm running the heater inside the shed, like I had an issue with when I tried living in the shed before, I never finished insulating it the first time. I only got part of it. But the windows were sweating really bad, and water's just pouring down the window, then onto the wood of the sill, and then going down, running down the wall, and onto the floor and creating a puddle. So, with the colder temperatures we're starting to get now, and because I've been working into the early hours of the morning with my job lights that I have, I'm running into that issue again. So, I broke down since I was at Home Depot again with Steve, and I bought 3 new windows. So the 2 windows you saw I put on the back with the glass door, I went ahead and bought 2 more of those windows, or 3 of those windows, and I'm going to replace the 3 windows, the 2 sides and the one on the other side with the door in the shed to stop that. Then I won't have the water issue. I won't have the mold, mildewing type stuff from all that added moisture. And then they're also insulated, so it will help a lot better keep the shed warmer and cooler, because we know I'm not moving in there this winter. It's going to be come spring. I went ahead. I got some trim for the windows, which I don't know why I bought the trim, because now I'm going to replace the windows. But I originally got the trim and then decided to go ahead and spend the money on the windows, because the windows are like $200 a piece. They're not cheap. But they're double insulated windows. They don't have the plastic pieces inside the glass. I like just to be able to look straight through the glass and not have the white pieces. I know some people like that. I don't. I spent the little extra money to get them without it. I don't know why they're cheaper without them. You would think, since some people call that decorative, you would pay more for decorative. But no, now it's flip-flop where you got to pay just to have plain glass. So I got the windows, got the window trim pieces, and then that was Friday night, and I got back to the homestead, I want to say close to 10:30ish, somewhere in there, maybe even 11 o'clock Friday night. And I had 2 Dunkin' Donuts coffees. Steve said he don't know how I do it. Because I bought one before we went to Home Depot, and I got Steve where he likes the coffees, and it kills him because it's $5 a coffee. And he's on an even tighter budget than me. So we leave Home Depot, and I pull right back into Dunkin' Donuts. And Steve's like, "You're crazy." He goes, "How are you going to drink a second one?" I'm like, "I'm getting you a second one too." How he finished the second one faster than me, I don't know. But I had 2 of those Dunkin' Donuts. They got pumpkin spice back at Dunkin' Donuts. They got rid of the cookie butter, which is normally like Christmas, New Year's, and all that. Why they got pumpkin in, I don't know, but they got pumpkin in. And we all know I love pumpkin. Just like the coffee I'm drinking right now from a subscriber that sent me the Pete's Pumpkin Coffee Pods. I've gone through 3/4 of the box. I only have a few pods left. So I'm enjoying the last bit of my pumpkin. But anyhow, I had those 2 Dunkin' Donut coffees in me, and I was wired. Unloaded everything. I had to bring groceries home because we both ran to Walmart. He got his stuff, I got my stuff. And I brought my groceries home, unloaded them, and then I'm like, I have no motivation. I don't want to do anything. And I still had to go drop Steve off at his place. So went and dropped Steve off, and I'm like, since I'm out of the house, I might as well try to be productive. It was at like 11 o'clock-ish, 11:30-ish, somewhere in there. And I'm like, I'm going to work on the tiny home because it's got to get done. I know a lot of you have made comments and said, I've made so much progress so fast, they can't believe how much I've done. Taking it from the mouse-infested, poop, mildew, mold-infested shed to where it is now. Yes, it looks completely different. For me, however, it's not done. It's like, no matter how much time I put over there, it feels like I'm not getting anything accomplished. I know I see it every day, but it's just, I try to work harder and harder and harder, and it just seems like there's more and more work, and it's never going to be done. But that's life. We know how that is. So I ended up staying until, I think, like 4:30 Saturday morning, in the morning. I worked whatever hours I could. Came home. I slept till 12:30, 1 o'clock on Saturday. So I got a decent amount of sleep in there. And then, like I said, today I slept 14 half hours. So yesterday I did nothing but feed the animals. And today I did nothing but feed the animals. I did come home. I vacuumed. The dry vac was in the shed, so I brought that home so I could vacuum up the dog hair. And that's all I've done. Now, I've done something I haven't done for a long, long time. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because I don't have my job light with me. And I don't have any other flashlights available. So I'll see if my phone will focus. But I brought this wood in here. Let's see. You can see my fire rack. Empty, empty, empty. Tiny little hump right there. That's all the firewood I have left. So I keep saying I'm going to go over and cut some firewood because we're getting ready to go into cold season and I haven't done it. I've used all my energy and everything working on the tiny home, burning up all my time and everything over there that I haven't cut firewood. So tomorrow, I'm thinking I might do that. I'm not 100% sure. But the rest of this past week, it's just been nothing but the tiny home. Everybody's seen the post on that. All the different goat babies. I got paranoid today. Went over. A bunch of the goat babies were gone. Couldn't find them. Searched all over the place. In the A-frame fence panels that I did with the black tarp over it, they were tucked down because I put hay in everything yesterday because we got some colder nights coming up. All the babies were tucked down in one of the little edges of that A-frame, and they all were all huddled together. I pet a couple, and then they all jumped up and went running around looking for their moms. But yeah, I'm like, all the goat babies disappeared on me. I'm like, I lost one. Well, so everybody knows how homesteading works. Everything's not rainbows and unicorns like I always tell you. So the baby I had here, I woke up the next day, 2 days later, and the baby was gone. So you can't save them all. Brought her around twice. Don't know why she went away, but I lost her. And then I had a murder of crows. For those of you that don't know it, there's a bunch of crows. They call them a murder. Why? Because they murder stuff. And they got one of the babies over at the homestead. So this is another reason why I'm delaying my house and I'm going to build the barn because I want to be able to protect the babies as much as I can. because we know things can still go wrong when you have barns because people have $30,000 horses that end up dying inside of barns. But yeah, so right now I think I have 7 or 8 goat babies running around. So I could only find 2 today. So I'm like, all the babies disappeared. So I'm like, oh, great. I haven't had time to sit over with a shotgun and take care of the crow issue. Um, Luckily, I got brush piles around a lot of the fencing now. So I'm not having any issues right now. Knock on wood. With dogs digging under the fence and getting in and killing the animals because I was having that issue. Which I guess that's why I had these dogs they're supposed to protect, but they're being lazy. They're over here sleeping on the couch, sleeping on the floor, staying warm by the fire, staying out the cold. Um, but yeah, so just been taking care of the animals best I can. Like I said, putting hay out so they got place to stay warm, getting feed out to them. I've got to haul a load of water tomorrow, possibly. Probably tomorrow afternoon. I've got to get some more stuff for the tiny home. I worked on the tiny home this whole past week, except this weekend. And I'm at the point that I wish I would have done more on the tiny home before I got some stuff on the trailer for Steve. Because now I need 9 boards that are 12 foot long. So I'm going to have to take my trailer all the way back to Harrison for 9 boards. When they could have fit on the trailer with some stuff that Steve needed. So I want to do that before I haul water. Because with the 275 gallon IBC tote, water comes out the vent at the top. And the boards get wet on the trailer. And I don't want to go pick up tongue and groove and have it strapped down to wet boards and that absorb the moisture and then start warping before I can get the boards up in the tiny home. So I think tomorrow morning, this upcoming week, I'm going to go Harrison, do a little bit more on credit card. It's not going to be a lot. Just get those 12 boards and then I think I'm not ready for it. But I think I'm going to pick up the 12-foot pieces of tin that I need for the ceiling. I only need 5 of those. So I might as well just get those while I have the trailer up there. And then I'll haul water tomorrow afternoon. Feed the animals like normal. Some days I don't. But that's another reason why I leave hay out everywhere. So no matter what, my animals always have feed. Where some people, they like to just have a schedule. It's a lot cheaper. If you only put hay in the morning and hay in the evening, then you save all that hay from being wasted. Like me, I spend all that extra money for extra hay. However, if you want to value your time, which I talk about all the time on this channel, is that 9 to 5 job. It's the same thing with a scheduled job, even if it's on your homestead. So by having that extra hay out there, yes, they waste some, but it's being broken down. It's giving nutrients to the soil. It's helping with erosion control. It's helping with them having a soft area to stand, bedding, stuff like that. And my time is not, I have to be there every day at 6 in the morning, every day at 5 in the evening. I can go over whenever I feel like feeding because the only thing they don't have free range of is the grain. Which now I'm starting to have a new issue. I have some thieves living in my area, and they're called Bambi. I have a whole herd of deer now that I pull up in my driveway, and they look at me and then go doo doo doo, and they're eating the grain out of my grain bin. What Cora, my black goat, used to do that I got from Peyton, Arkansas, and so they just stick their tongue right in between the 2 pieces of metal, and they just slowly pull out piece of corn, grain, whatever they pull out. So I'm going to have to put a bucket or something around that to stop that because the deer are going to eat me out of house and home because the animals are already doing that themselves. So they're my thieves. I've got a whole herd of deer now, which I don't want to put a bucket in. I haven't put a bucket yet, and it's been probably about 3 weeks since they found this out now. Because I enjoy pulling up and seeing a herd of deer. It's like I have my own private deer herd, along with a goat herd and a cow herd and emu herd and everything else I have. So that's what I got planned this week, is working on that. The windows look like it's going to be a pain in the butt to get the windows out of the shed, because it looks like they anchored the windows and then put flashing around the windows and then put all the sheet metal that wraps around the whole shed. So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about just cutting the windows out, leaving the aluminum frame there, and then cutting the framing around the new windows that you use with the screw holes to screw it to the building, and inset the window, and then bead a caulk on the inside, bead a caulk on the outside, and then I can do my wood trimming to frame the windows in, so then that way I don't have to tear all the walls apart, because the above wall has another piece that goes across and the bottom's got a bottom piece that goes across. So then I'm going to end up taking a million screws out, and then the screw holes are going to be looser when I put the screws back in, which could allow moisture in. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to mess with the windows quite yet. I think I'm going to probably do that this spring, maybe even summertime. I'm not sure. But I at least have the windows. So the goal this week is pick up the little bit of material I need. The 12-foot boards are for my walls. I'm at the point I need 7 more boards or 12 boards, whatever it is, to finish going up the wall so I can start doing the ceiling. But right before I do the ceiling, I need to do the electrical. So I'm going to do finish the walls this week. I'm going to do the electrical this week. Run all my wires to where I'm going to put the battery box that's back here. It will have the inverter and the breaker box in the same area. So I'll leave extra slack of wire. Getting ready for that. And then once the electrical's done, then I'm going to go ahead and start doing the ceiling. Hey, there's no strutting. You lay down, knock it off. And then if I got time, I'm going to try to start measuring for the skirting and getting ready to do the skirting around the shed. What do you want, grumpy butts? And after that, it's going to be the next Sunday, Monday vlog. So I'll have my next set of things next Sunday. I will be back tomorrow live at 7 for the New Year's New Goal 2024. Down to the last minute, and I'm still trying to figure out how I want to set my goals in my head, and what I think I'm going to be able to get done this upcoming year. What I'm going to have a shot in the dark of getting this year. Of course, if property selling, stuff like that. So if you're interested in all that, I'll have all that new information tomorrow at 7. And that's pretty much all I have, unless any of you have any questions for me or want to throw anything out there. And besides that, it's New Year's Eve, so I hope everybody has a great New Year's. Max is not in the house where he's supposed to be. Plan, we ain't got no plan. Well, and that's the thing, DT. I was actually thinking about labeling the video something different. So I might say it tomorrow on my thought, but then I don't know. But yeah, plans, you got to make plans, ODT. Whether you complete the plans, whether you don't complete the plans, whether you let your coffee sit here cold through the whole video, or you taste that wonderful pumpkin coffee. Happy New Year to you too, DT. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's rough. And I was talking to my mama last night, and I told her, I said, I'm setting my alarm for 8 o'clock this morning. I'm going to get back on the tiny home. I said, because every day I don't do anything on tiny home that already feels like it's not getting done, it's pushed even farther. And now today, I could have had a whole bunch more done today. I could have went to Harrison, got the stuff, got the walls done, and started the electrical. And now I got to do that tomorrow. So now I'm a day farther behind. But I started on the ceiling. I didn't take pictures yet because I want to get farther along before I get next set of pictures out to everybody. I know everybody thinks I do everything in like 2 hours and then throw the photos up. It's not a 2 hour thing. So like the ceiling, I worked on the ceiling until 4 o'clock Saturday morning, and I haven't put photos up. So then you're going to see the photos and be like, man, he got so much done in that day. It's farther along. I know I do that just like with Colorado. So for those of you that don't know, sometimes I post stuff as it happens. But a lot of the time, I have a little bit delays. Like when I was in Colorado, I would post stuff about Arkansas because then nobody knew I was in Colorado. Just like the shed. People think I'm getting things done today, but it actually got done 4 days ago. But it just looks like it happened so fast. A lot of people like a lot of content. They like regular content. I've had a lot of people ask me to get back to where like I did 3 videos a day, just short videos, not long videos. It's just a lot of time, and I don't have a lot of stuff like the tiny home. It's not like the tiny home's done. It's not like I'm working a garden right now and building a barn and fencing and doing this, and that. It's just me. I'm not a YouTube family. I don't have a wife and 6 kids and a $100,000 job that I can just keep rolling money into the homestead. I'm not selling all the different products on my channels and Facebook and all that type of stuff like most of these channels do. That's how they are able to do the content. And even if I had all that money and everything, I would still probably not do all the content like they do, just due to the fact that it's me. I've got fencing to do. I got barns to do. I've got a house to build. I've got a tiny house to do. Gardens, orchards, beehives, so on and so forth. So, can I be on my phone 24 hours a day, editing, doing the videos? I haven't even got back to editing. That's one thing I'm hoping to do in 2024. I was planning to do it this year. But I'm only one person, so I can only do so much. Where the plans go, I don't know, but if we don't set plans, DT, and everybody else out there, then you don't have a certain mindset to work for. So if I don't plan to finish the tiny shed's just going to sit there, and I'll just stay here in the restaurant, which I know I don't want. So just by putting that thought out there and manifesting it to happen, along with some time, some money, some labor, and we'll slowly get there. But that's what we all got to do. We got to set goals. Whether the goals happen, the plans happen, the list happens, we at least made that effort. We at least had that motivation to start that first step of just coming up with those goals, those plans. Then the next baby step is writing down the goals and plans. And then planning out the goals and plans and working towards the goals and plans, and then succeeding and setting your next set of goals, and so on and so forth. It's all baby steps. Smallest things do change, just like the movie Butterfly Effect and everything else, and all the different things we've been shown over our lives. The smallest things can make the biggest difference. Just like with my suicide video, going back to that, since we're still kind of in the holidays, just smiling at somebody, giving somebody a hug that day, just answering the phone and listening to them that day, sending a text message to check on somebody. You never know what the smallest thing will do to change that person, which then their life changes somebody else, and it multiplies. So that's all I got for tonight. Nobody else has anything, I don't think. So with that, like always, live happy, live free. That's the only way to be. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on the New Year's New Goal 2024 at 7 p.m. Central Time. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.